Hello. So let's start this stream. I'm going to show you how you build a WebRTC conference for one-to-many participants using the Thor-io libraries. I've started this demonstration or example by preparing a solution where I have installed the Thor-io client package. It's Thor-io client WinNext version 3.0 beta. I also created a small example class here in TypeScript, prepared some configurations, but the rest is not done yet. As well as I'm doing Webpack for packing the JavaScript on the client side to an executable one. I also prepared a small web page where we're going to put the remote videos and the local video. It also points out the Webpack file. The Webpack configuration actually points out our demo.js file, which is this file. We're going to start our programming of a WebRTC conference. So let's start by first of all hooking up to the signaling server, the Thor-io server at Heroku. So it says this.factory. The factory is a class that or a component that takes care of all the client side connectivity to the broker or the server side. This factory expects us to, if it's correct now, to have a WebSocket server. Hello. That's Heroku. We also need a controller, which is named broker. Sorry for typo. Broker, not broker. This way. We got an exception here or warning. Let's create a property. That should be a factory. Nothing else. Yes, of course it's a new factory like this. Yes. Now we have a new factory. We say this factory, but on open, which is an event that will be fired when we are connected to the server. And as we specify a broker here, we'll have a controller back named broker. And that's a controller, and this is our event. So we can actually look now if we are connected by saying in the console to broker like this, and I hit compile. And we can also have a look then if we have Webpack running, which we have, yes. And we can also go back to the web page and make a new one. Put the console and say localhost. I think I started my server at localhost 8080. Yes, and as you see now we have something in the console that says connected to broker. We can also inspect the network activity, and as you see here, it's now connected to the signaling server at Heroku as specified. So let's go back to code, and this is actually where we ended up now in our last screenshot or last view at the application. And now as we have a broker, which is actually the controller that takes care of all the signaling of what we have to do on the to make our conference running. It actually includes all the signaling to get participants, video streams, connect to rooms, etc. But we also need to create an instance of the RTC client, which is the WebRTC client of Thor-io. So let's create a new WebRTC instance, and this WebRTC class or instance expects us to pass a broker, which we have here, and that's the broker. And we also pass the this.config, which I specified just up here. So it's also declared this property on our class. So now we have a WebRTC client connected to the broker, and we are also connected to the server. But to make these things running now, we need to start listen to some events which is passed by the broker and the WebRTC client. The first one we can actually look is this.rtc client, RTC client, on context connected, context changed. When you first connect to the context, to the broker, you will be given a temporary room name. Let's say context and any, which is fired by the framework itself. And now we can actually say in the console, look, I'm at this context / room. We can also display it in the console, and the actual object is passed by the server. I compile it. And go back to the Chrome browser, and we should actually have something here in the log that says I'm connected to the broker, and nothing more. Let me see in the network traffics here. We can start actually find the problems we have. Messages. Yes, of course. Nothing. We are just connected to the endpoint, and we're not telling the client to actually connect to the server, which we need to go back to our code and do. This is the on-open event of our connection to the server. So let's say, also bug there. So let's say broker, which is the broker, and connect. That should do the trick. Let's recompile it and see what happens. In this case, we should be having a few messages sent. Yes. No. Maybe it's the Webpack stuff that creates the problem. We also have something causing an error. Unconnected is not a function. Why? This RTC client is not a function. Yeah, of course, it says on context created. Yes. We also need to listen to another event, which will actually happen at once. On context created. That's the first event that occurs on the server side when we connect to the broker. Sorry for the inconvenience, but it has been a while since I fiddled with these things. Still, now I have something here in the console. No errors anymore. Yes, connected to the broker, and it says also I have a context now. This context is actually a room, and this is actually the client's ID, so-called peer ID. So let's go back to our code. So now we're actually listening to the fact that we have a room created. Then we need to actually call a method called on context, change context, because now we're getting a random room name as shown in the console here. This is actually the room name. So we can actually do a thing that we can say connect to context or change context. So when we are connected to this context, okay, let's override this random room name and say this RTC client dot change context, and we set a room name called foobar. In this case, we're gonna do just gonna do a small update of the code to start to listen to the event name on context changed. I'm just copying this one to make it faster. Or on context changed. I'm not changed. I'm not changed. To context room, and we can take this away because otherwise we'll have some bouncing. First of all, this will occur on context created. That's when a new user connects. It's giving a unique room of its own, and then after calling context change context, it was changed on the server side to foobar, and it should now give us 2 events in the console. Let's also compile it, maybe Magnus, and go back to this one. Let's look at the network. Yes, it takes a while for the Webpack to actually perform. I'm connected to the broker. I'm at the room context. It's the server. Server gives us a context or a room name per default. I'm now changed to the room foobar. Okay, so now each client that accesses this web page will be changed into the foobar room. Okay, so far so good. We also need to access the web camera, because it won't be a good video conference without accessing the web camera. So let me just find that particular code for my example. I think I can hack it down by myself here. So now we're connected. We can also say navigator, get user media, and this is the constraints. We actually want to have some video. I will skip the audio, but on to false. And this will actually give us a callback then with the media stream, ms media stream, like this. And we also need to deal with the exception error, like this. Console error. Yes. So let us look at what we get from the webcam here. We actually get a media stream. So I'm compiling now. This is actually the function that attaches to our webcams in the browser, called the media stream API, or get user media. So now, as you see here in my browser, it asks me to allow the for accessing the camera. Say hello, yes, and we got this media stream. So now we have a room named foobar, and we also have a local media stream called captured by our webcam. So in this case, we need to add this one to the UI then. So let's say we call a method called this dot add local stream, add video. That's good. And we pass the media stream. this method does not exist, so let's create it and move up here. We have add video, not yet implemented. Let us now implement this video. Create a video element using document, create element, create element, video, and set the video source object to the media stream, and set the video to be autoplayed and to true to be better, like this. One. So create a video element, set the media stream as the source object, and it to be autoplayed. We can also mute it because we don't want to hear ourselves muted. True. And as I showed you earlier, I created a small web page or in HTML page here, index, and here's my container for the local video. So let's say document, query selector, and give me this local video, was it a class or an ID? Yes, this is an ID. Append. Let's also add the video there. So we can also set the width of it, because now it's going to be big. I'm setting the width of the video width equals 320. That's enough. I'm compiling it. I'm going back to the client. Was it done? Yes, still building. This is quite a slow Linux machine. Go back here, make a reload. Yes, this is the guy that we've been listening to for a while. That's my local stream, actually captured by the browser and added to the DOM. So now let us see what to do next. This method adds the local video element, or the actual client's video captured by UC Media, to the UI in the local video element. And now let's see what happens down here. We are just capturing the media stream, and we add it to the UI. But we also need to add it to the WebRTC client to be able to broadcast it to remote peers connected to the same room, in this case the foobar room. So say add local streams, and we pass the media stream here, which we just received. So what will happen then? I'm going to have a local stream connected to the client, to the RTC client. So now let's see how we can add remote clients to the user interface. I actually made it a placeholder here for it, remote videos. And we can actually reuse the add video method, in fact, by saying parent as a string, and we can add this as a string, parent, and then just gonna pass local videos down here. So add this video to the local video element of the DOM. So as we're gonna connect it to the room named foobar, and all users entering this web page will also be connected to the same room, because we have this we just changed into the foobar room as a constant. But we also need to look at when someone enters the same room and adds his local video, as we do here. It's gonna start negotiate with the remote peers. That's gonna throw an event called on remote track, and this will give us a media stream track, because one stream can have multiple tracks and each peer can broadcast multiple audio and video streams as tracks. Media stream track, and we also get a connection info. That's who's the remote peer, etc. We can actually display this one by saying console.log connection or remote connection and connection. Yeah, come and build this one. It's probably gonna work pretty good now. I'm reloading. I'm prompting my own camera. I'm gonna copy this URL and open a new window in incognito, like this, which is gonna prompt me for camera access. Didn't take it in incognito, like this. It's better. Both one is in incognito. Yes. Localhost. This is a trick to do local WebRTC stuff. Something is wrong. I can't get the stream. Something is wrong here. Yes. I failed to set source object on HTML video, not a valid video stream. Yeah. Let me see what happens. It's undefined. What I'm doing, yes, of course. Look at here, the signature. It's the other way. If I actually would take notice of what the compiler says, it should be a good thing. So get back to the client. You can take away the debugger. Now you see me there, and I open up a new window in incognito. Now it prompts me for accessing the camera, of course, because I'm in incognito mode. Yes. Now you see two clients, and look in the console here. We got the media stream here at line 421. That is actually in a method of getting the local stream, but we should also be having a remote track here. That doesn't fire. Why? Something is happening here. That one we can take away and step on remote track. I'm changing the context. Yeah. On remote track. Maybe if we try to do like this, we can actually move this one down to after we added the video and rebuild. Yes, I missed a really important thing here, guys. Uncut exchanged. We can actually do RTC Connect. Because we need to connect to the context. We just changed to it. Now doing the connect one. Sorry for that one. We changed the context, but by calling context connect, we'll actually be calling the server, say I'm ready for inbound streams. It's still building, I think. And I suppose we need to listen to some more events. Yeah, on local stream is not the function. We need to hook up some more events, as it says in the console. RTC client on local stream. Yes, make a note here. Just need to do anything. We also need to connect to this.rtc client on context connected, which will fire when we are connected to other clients. There's also another one that will be fired if we're going to disconnect from the context or room. So I'm just hooking them up to be safe. I'm going to do a walk over or walk through, not to walk over. Now it should actually give us, still building, 3 messages. Now we have a media stream here at 41, which is the same one as last time. Yes, now you see it, now it hits the on connected to the room. Happen once, remote connection and remote connection. So now each pairs are connected to each other. As you see in both windows here, we have a remote connection for the pair. This is the client ID. And this is the pair ID I'm connected to. So this one should actually then be the same as this one. Yes, it is. So we can actually do like this then. If my method works okay, or which we wrote add video. Now we're getting some tracks passed from the server. So let's create a new media stream. And we add the track here. This one will actually occur twice, because one for the audio, one for the video. But as we are now prompting for audio false, we will only be getting one track for these participants. But it's good to have it separated. The video is in one stream or in one track, so you can actually control them separately. So this is the track we add. Media stream track cannot be used. That's an array, to be frank. Like this, that should work. And then we can do add video. Add video. And it's the media stream we created up here. And it says, I think it was remote videos. Wasn't that correct? Remote videos, yes. Just to be sure. And this one can then be separated by the connection ID. In this case, we got a remote video and the ID here. So the connection ID will be the same for both the audio and video track. In this case only the video, but I guess you guys will figure that out. Building it, going back. This is all non-rehearsed. I'm just doing this to satisfy some people that out there asking me for help. Yeah. You should have a remote video as well. What happens here on remote connection? Just need to take this one away. So make a reload. New window and prompt it, and you will have it. But this one doesn't want to show the video. Why? Let us look here. Yes, it's an old version. Let me empty the cache. Still reloads. Maybe I make that this and reload, and now it should give me 2 videos. No, this one refuses to do it. Something is wrong here. Look in the console. Error. That's just a file icon. Yeah, now it works. Yeah. Now you have multiple. Why do we have multiple? Yeah, of course, now it goes away. It takes a while. We need to listen to the on remote stream lost. This one above the line here is actually the local stream, and this is remote stream, but it's quite boring now because it's the same guy that you're looking at. So if I take this one down, it will freeze the upper one. That's the remote videos. And make a reload, copy the URL and make a new window and access it and allow it. But this one should also have a video. Why doesn't it work? Yeah. Let me see here. I'm doing it this way. I'm on context changed. I'm doing the context connect. On local stream. On context change, this happens too early. It should actually happen after we got the video track. Like this. Let's try this one then, and see if it works better. And still building. Building. Now it seems to be a little bit more stable. Now it should give me one more camera up here, yes. So we'll take this one away because we're not subscribing to the on lost video event. And I'm doing a refresh to the left and put this one in here and see what happens then. Yes, now it works. I moved the actual change context event to after that we actually receive the camera stream from the local device. So if we now take one more window like this and make it really tiny, it should have 3 participants on tube here. And if I now close this one, one of the top ones will freeze. And of course there's events for taking care of such problems. Those are on context disconnect will show you the ID of the actual client that you lost. You can also listen to bind events to the media stream track. This track, if it stops, let's say track on ended, you can remove this actual video element or you can go up here to the media stream and say in this video function that this media stream on ended, on remove track, or on remove track, or on, yeah, maybe it's better to do that on the actual track rather than media stream. I think that's the way we do it in Colloquium or other application. Yeah, that was pretty much a crazy quick demonstration of how you use Thor-io client libraries together with signaling services found at colloquium.herokuapp.com and the broker. This is pretty much what you need to do. Create a small JavaScript file, connect to the backend using the Thor-io factory. This is the URL, this is the name of the controller, and when the factory is open, you will get an instance of the broker called controller, and you will pass that controller into the WebRTC libraries of Thor-io, among with the configurations of your WebRTC client. Then it will start to throw some events, for instance the on-context change, which occurs when you change the context, aka rooms. On local streams will be fired when you add a local media stream to your local peer. On context connected fires when you are connected to a context, and that will actually appear or occur after calling context connected. On context disconnected, it occurs when you disconnect from the context. And on context created, that's the first event that the server will give you when you connected to the broker, and that's a room of your own, or this context I keep going on talking about. And on remote track fires when someone adds a track or a media stream track to a remote peer connection. And further on, this is how I grab the user media from the user media APIs of the browser. I'm adding the local stream, the local capture media stream to the local client or RTC client. Then I tell it to connect to the room named foobar. So that's pretty much the thing, and of course down here we need to connect to the broker given us by the factory shown up here. So that's pretty much what you need to know about Thor-io WebRTC client together with the signaling mechanisms or servers found at Heroku. If you have Visual Studio Code and you install the npm package, you will have IntelliSense and documentation available within the dev environment of yours. So thanks for listening, and have a nice day.